Hello and welcome to my Pokemon Journeys, episode 108, Lucario and Greninja, the Aura of Destiny review. Look, this episode had a lot to convince me of. I absolutely hate Greninja's release in X and Y, and I know it wasn't released technically. Look, I'm just using it as a word of Ash leaving it in Kalos. But I think it's just poorly done regardless. Greninja had a complete arc and managed to fulfill what Olympia saw by preventing the Kalos crisis. I didn't see the need for it to be left behind to cut vines, for some reason. But that's besides the point. But now we find out that Ash and Raihan is the last chance of the promotional battles to get into Masters 8. Immediately that's interesting, because let's be honest, this is the last chance for Ash is winning next week's battle. But it also implies that there are other characters that could have been promoted to it too, such as Iris. I don't really think Ash and Iris would battle again, but it'd be cool to see trainers of the same generation work their way up, instead of just being adults and Ash. I also really love seeing everyone at Lab excited for this, and the worldwide attention Ash is gaining. Go in particular is hyped up. Meanwhile in the lab, Ash is training all his Pokemon with each other, so if you've been missing that, then here's a section for it. And as his team gets fed, Ghost Froakie decides to play fight with Kaharu's Eevee, which actually prompts Ghost Froakie to evolve into a Frogadier. This evolution isn't absolutely done for a plot, as when Ash sees this, it reminds him of his Greninja and gets the idea to take Lucario to see it. I think that's a pretty good use of a returning Pokemon. They're going to use it to train and help Lucario to really prepare him for the battle with Raihan. The reason why Ash is intent on taking Lucario to meet Greninja, however, is because he likens the Ash Greninja form to how Lucario's aura feels, and we've definitely seen Ash and Lucario in sync before with their aura, so this kind of implies that the Ash Greninja form comes from aura, which is an okay explanation for it, I guess. We cut to Raihan and Gala, meeting his fans, which is fun to see. However, as he goes into the gym, he takes some time to reflect on Ash. He's a trainer that Leon's only met relatively recently, and has already skyrocketed all the way to the cusp of the Masters 8. Now Raihan's got the expectation to win the match for his fans. Raihan thinks back on a loss to Leon and the regret that came with it. He decides that he can't give up no matter what and starts his training. It's just a little thing that adds some depth to the anime's version of Raihan, as we haven't really had much of a chance to be with him, but it's nice to see his determination. In the Kalos region, Ash is sure that Greninja is in the forest, however they search till the night with no results. As they come out, Ash reassures Go that the two are connected so he knows Greninja is there. This is paired with some flashbacks of their journey up to the league, where apparently the Greninja in the flashbacks is supposed to be the Ash Greninja form. I'll be honest, I don't really care, but I get why that might bother some people. What I do like is seeing both X and Y Ash and Elan in the journey style. I think they both look sick and even better than they did in X and Y. I love that. When Greninja gets closer, both Ash and Lucario feel it, immediately showing that Lucario and Greninja have a connection, and the two take off. That's when we get the stupid vines that are ravaging Kalos. They kind of brush off Lucario's attacks, and before they can hit him, that's when Greninja shows up and starts fighting them. Yeah, I still hate this, but Ash quickly takes command of Greninja and finishes the vines off. In this scene, we see that Ash sees their weak points, and that the two of these characters synchronize. As Ash calls Water Shuriken, he goes through emotions just as Greninja does. And this is something we've seen him do with Lucario, right? Think back to when Lucario learnt Steel Beam as he called out Force Palm. He did the actions in sync with Lucario. I think seeing Lucario's jealousy over Greninja is hilarious. He seems so grumpy about how Ash seems with Greninja. It just shows that Lucario isn't really the generic Lucario personality. He's very much his own Pokemon, and it motivates him to keep going in battle with Greninja, who seems a lot more refined in his movements. And also, you can tell Greninja's kind of gotten stronger from having to deal with these stupid vines. But like, I'd still rather see him get stronger at Oak's lab with Ash's other Pokemon. So as Lucario struggles, he runs off and Greninja stops Ash going after him, and goes off to deal with Lucario himself. Greninja shows Lucario a way of meditation or focusing its aura or whatever, as they synchronize their feelings with each other. They sense where Ash is, and see that a vine is about to attack him, so they quickly rush back where Pikachu and Cinderace are fighting the vines off. As expected, Ash is more in sync with Lucario's aura than ever before and calls out an Aura Sphere, as he himself does the action that Lucario also does, and they power up with Mega Evolution. It's a teamwork between Greninja and Lucario that lets them destroy the vines. Greninja lodges a Water Shuriken into the vines, while Lucario powers up an Aura Sphere that feels an awful lot like a Spirit Bomb to launch it into the vines and eradicate them. All of this to the backdrop of Miyazaki's remix of a Xerneas and Yveltal battle theme. As the day ends, Ash says his goodbyes to Greninja and Greninja goes off. Ash mentions he's always connected to Greninja to go, and then mentions it's the same for Lucario. So at least when it comes to Greninja, we're really sort of in the same place we were when X and Y ended. He's still having to cut up vines, and honestly, I'm confused as to where the hell Zygarde is. It's supposed to be here. It should be helping Greninja to clean up the region. But other than that, I think it's a good use of one of Ash's previous Pokemon. It helps get Lucario ready in a way that isn't just fighting each other to get stronger. It feels like it helped Lucario focus its aura. And I know a huge question for sure is, which gimmick is Ash going to be using next week? And it feels like this can maybe make them avoid using Mega Evolution, since that maybe feels like the obvious choice. I do think in general they set up the upcoming match between Ash and Raihan really well. You have Ash training for it and then looking for a specific increase in power. You have Raihan getting his ace ready. It'd be nice to see the rest of his team too and have them come out. But in general, I think that there's all these extra stakes. This is the last chance for Ash to get into Masters 8. This will be one less chance for Raihan to topple Leon. He's got the expectations of fans to live up to as well. And this was just an all-around neat experience for Lucario. He gets stronger in a new way and really just gets another chance to show off his personality. So yeah, this was a cool ep, even though I think that's the Vine's flaw from X and Y. But how about you? How did you like this episode? And I'll see you next time.